Ha ha ha.
We are. Warning. This is episode 5 of the Battle Bros podcast. Adult language may follow. Not really saying anything other than that. I'm not trying to gloat, but I just want to let you know. You have been warned. Hey, we're back. All right. Buddy.
This is a military podcast-ish, kind of, by the way.
It's a military lifestyle and culture themed podcast. Exactly. So yes. What's going on, everybody? This is the Battle Bros podcast with Mac and Alamo. Welcome. If you're brand new to the show, hola. Hello. Peace be upon you and yours. If you're welcome.
Be upon you.
Yes, exactly. If you're coming back, welcome back to the Bro Zone. Welcome back. We're glad to have you with us. This is episode 5. How's it going, man? How you doing, bud?
It's going good. I will admit there have been some stressors going on lately, as you know, because I'm getting ready to move. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a pain in the neck, but
that's called
going good,
man.
Yeah, I know.
That's called life for sure. So
this episode should be relatively, I'm not going to say short, but it should be shorter than the first few episodes we've done. Specifically because... Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say specifically because we're going to be talking about some funny junk.
This shit's going to go off the rails quick, folks. Just so you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this one because we get to kind of be ourselves a little bit more and kind of goof off and, you know, still keep it semi-professional.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a sliding scale. But so for the folks that are new to the show, again, we want to welcome you to the Battle Bros podcast. To recap what we've done so far, our first 4 episodes had a little bit more of a serious tone. Episode 1, we talked about how the show came to be, a little bit of our backgrounds for each of us, myself and my co-host Alamo here.
Yeah.
And then episodes 2, 3, and 4, we talked about what caused us to join the service. Episode 3 was while we were in the military, and then episode 4 was probably the most serious of those three so far, where we talked about transitioning out, some of the tribulations that we've been through, some of the hardships, and just kind of finding our way. So we want to remind everybody, you know, what we're about. We are 2 friends that have known each other for a long ass time. And what we want to do is just kind of help other, exactly. It's been a long time. We want to help other veterans and people in our community, the veteran community and, you know, first responders, whoever, kind of help them find their next mission, their next objective once they get out of, you know, being in the service, whether it's the military, whether it's, you know, first responder type stuff, you know, if you're a firefighter, you know, police, law enforcement officer, EMT, you know, that's all important stuff too. So we want to help make it easy for you guys to help try to find, you know, your next big thing that you got going on, because it's not easy. We'll tell you. I mean, if you're not 100% certain what we're talking about, go back and listen to episode 4. Not that we're trying to do the shameless plug.
Yeah.
But we are. And you know, it was a pretty serious conversation that we had at points, and you know, it just goes to show you that, you know, nothing is ever easy, and you're not the only one to go through it. So that being said, with the seriousness that we've had in the previous, especially the previous 3 episodes, but you know, kind of all 4. This episode, Alamo and I, we were, you know, kind of discussing what we wanted to do. It's like, let's just do something a little bit more lighthearted, more funny. So, yeah. So what we ended up talking about is we're just going to, you know, we have a list that we're going to go over, and it's all just military sayings and abbreviations and all this goofy shit. You hear a bunch of vets talking in like strange language of the abbreviations and that alphabet soup, and you're like, what the hell did he say? So we're gonna take some of these more popular terms, and we're going to We're going to, translate and decipher. And, if there's any questions, we're going to definitely make sure that there are going to be no unanswered questions. So, and
for sure. Yeah. And
one thing we want to ask,
if there's any comments, we're going to answer them.
Absolutely. If you're watching this right now, there's a comment section you can go to. If you think of any that we didn't necessarily come up with, hey man, share them. It's for the benefit of the group. So, absolutely. So, you ready to kick this off there, bud?
Let's do it.
All right. So, we're going to kind of go through this list. It's going to be alphabetized, just kind of make it easier. So, number 1 on our list, asshat. Really, a whole not a whole lot you got to explain there. I mean, an asshat is somebody who is just going to make a lot of mistakes or make. I mean, it's just kind of somebody that just keeps messing it up for themselves or messing it up for the dismay of the group. If you're all standing there in like basic training and you got one guy that's just sitting there and he's moving. Oh, you think you can scratch your nose, position of attention? Too easy. Half right. To do the whole Yusha Thomas thing. So if you're the one guy that's making everybody else, if you're the one guy making everybody else one guy or gal to be, to be PC nowadays, if you're that one person who messes it up for everybody, congratulations. You are now
the
asshat. So, absolutely. All right, we're gonna keep these going. We're gonna keep these going pretty quick, rapid fire style. So, next on the list, airborne shuffle. Airborne shuffle is easy. It's anywhere you go, you are pretty much running. And
but you're not running at like a full pace. It's kind of like a brisk jog, if you will.
It's like and when you're in airborne school, you run everywhere, or you run everywhere.
Or in air assault school too, they do the same. You'll be every time your right foot hits the ground, I want to hear air assault. Yes, Sergeant. Air assault, air assault, air assault, air assault.
little T down the wrong tube there, buddy. Okay.
A little bit.
Like your team. All right. Next, while you're drinking water, I'll keep going. Next on our list, Article 15. For those that don't know, Article 15 is a section of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, UCMJ, which we'll hit on that later because we don't need to now. And it's usually when guys are brought up on charges for something, it's under the Article 15 of that Uniform Code of Military Justice. So, there used to be a clothing company called Article 15 Clothing, but they have since, I think, been rolled into the umbrella of Black Rifle because all those guys. All right, moving right along. Alice. So this is an old school term, comes from way back when. Specifically when it comes to like different styles of rucksacks. So you have Alice, and Alice stands for all-purpose, load-bearing, individual combat equipment. Okay. So there's 2 different types of rucksacks. A lot of guys like the old school Alice rucks just because they work, they last, all that kind of junk. So
fun fact. The frame of the Alice pack, by the way, was actually used to carry and harness the Ghostbusters proton packs in the films.
Yes. And another fun fact, the Ghostbusters uniform is a tan-colored flight suit, and they were all wearing jump boots because, hey, why not? So, exactly. I mean, and if for all you folks that like to do cosplay out there, this is a little tidbit on the side. There is a great website called sci-fi-geeks.com, and what you can do is you can go on there, and they sell a bunch of screen accurate patches and all this crazy stuff. So you can actually go on there and get like the Ghostbusters patch and get an old flight suit or like mechanics coveralls if you are on a budget, and just paste that stuff on there. Get the actual name tapes for all the Ghostbusters and stuff. Nerdy tidbit, I know, but it's pretty damn dope. All right, the next one, AAR. So this is something that Alamo and I do every time we do this show. It's called an after action report
review.
Or after action review, yes. And basically what you do is you just talk about, okay, here's what we did, here's what was good, here's what sucked, here's what was awesome. let's do this, let's cut that, and you kind of work everything out. A lot of times you'll hear this term in training. If you're in military training, after you do a training iteration or training cycle, you'll sit down or you'll take a knee, because you don't ever sit down out in the field. You'll do an AAR, and you'll talk about, hey, this worked, this didn't, blah blah blah. So absolutely.
Yeah,
all right,
absolutely.
so moving right along. Battle Buddy. So this is a little special for Alamo and myself, because of one, when you're in the military, the Battle Buddy team is like the basic. How would you say that? It's like the basic, unit break division, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially in boot camp, you don't ever go anywhere by yourself. Like, hey, high speed, take your Battle Buddy with you.
Exactly.
So so it's safety in numbers. 2 is 1 is none, kind of thing. So
yeah.
And that's kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, that's how you kind of came up with the name of the show here. Is that right, Alamo?
Yeah, man. It was, for me, it because there were 2 of us, and like it was kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, like we were throwing around names and everything, and my wife was kind of listening in. And she kind of helped me out a little bit with it.
By the way, hold on. Shout out to your wife.
Ahead.
She's awesome. That's my boo. She does a lot of. She's probably our number one independent advice consultant, because she has her own channel. It's called Flipside Mentorship. So if you are curious about it, shameless plug, absolutely, but it's totally worth it. Yeah. So go check it out. But she helps us out quite a bit, because we don't know what the hell we're doing half the time. It's like, wifey, what are we doing? So yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. So continue your story though. You were saying the wife was listening to the show.
But yeah, the wife was listening to, and she, because we were trying to figure out like what what the hell could the name be, and I kept thinking like, man, I still have no idea what the name is going to be of this damn thing. I was like, I got Battle Buddies. No, it's kind of just cliche battle. Oh, how about War Bros or something, bro? And then finally, she kind of took like I was throwing out so much crap that finally she was like, ooh, what about Battle Bros? I was like, bro. And hence Battle Bros was born. So
it's like that. It's like that old adage: if you fling enough shit against a fridge, something's gonna stick. So it's
yeah,
awesome. Good stuff. All right,
yeah.
So the next one is Break It Down Barney Style. So this is a good one. So
go ahead. Basically, it gets to the point where certain NCOs just get tired of having to re-explain things in a certain way, or maybe they get tired of having had to explain it in multiple different ways. So it comes down to them just breaking it down to where, okay, kids, listen, this is how we're gonna do it, okay? It's not exactly endearing, nor do I really believe it's anywhere near
PC.
Yeah. Listen here, we're gonna fucking do this, and you're gonna fucking do that, Roger,
Sergeant. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Sergeant. Go. And it's pretty much it. Yep. Yeah.
It's funny. My God. All right, so moving along, we have Beer Light. So the Beer Light is what comes on at the end of the working day, to where, hey, work is done for the day, crack open a beer, and that's, thank you. Absolutely, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Next, we have Broke Dick. So Broke Dick means that you are injured. You
all
are
the
pretty
time.
much. Well, yeah. If you're all the time broken, if you're injured or have something going on with you,
yeah,
it's a term of endearment. Not really. To describe somebody that's constantly on profile or just going to sick hall or, for a legitimate purpose. They're not like being a sick hall ranger or nothing like that, which, that's a good one. I should have put that down. Anyway, sick hall. But yeah, yes. Sick hall ranger. So broke dick. Yeah. Well, hey, where's Private Snuffy? Oh, he's broke dick today, Sergeant.
Yeah.
Roger. Yeah. All right. So bulkhead. This is a term you hear more so in the Navy and the Marine Corps. Bulkhead is just, as far as I know, it's a wall. Like a bulkhead would be like part of a ship, but it's also like a wall in a building, I think. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not going to lie. Jocko talks about that crap all the time, specifically because, Navy SEAL, he worked with Marines. And...
Yep. Oh, yeah. They're like this. They're together in harmonious proximity to each other. All right, boot. So, no, we're not talking about the boots you wear on your feet. Boot is somebody that's brand new. Like you got like a boot private that doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground. You literally have to hold their hand to go to the latrine.
Literally the guy that you can go, hey, go to supply, get a box of grid squares, and come back and meet me.
Don't forget the chem light batteries. Yep.
So awesome.
Okay, so this next term is very, very crucial to today's or the culture of the military when we were in. Blue Falcon. You're going to hear this term. Falcon. Now, what's funny is I have a friend of mine who was in, I think he was in 3rd Battalion of the 325, or he's in 2nd Battalion, excuse me. I'm thinking of the wrong friend. My fault. So there is there's a regiment at 82nd, which is the 325th. I think it's the Airborne Infantry Regiment, 325. Yeah. They're called the Falcons, and I think 3rd Battalion are the Blue Falcons, which is like, so, yeah. So that's pretty funny. But anyway, Blue Falcon is a term of endearment for somebody who is trying to put themselves ahead of the other person.
Yeah.
We call that a buddy fucker. So I can relate a quick story to that. When you're in basic training, you have one squad that's doing duty squad where you're actually doing tasks while you're out in the field.
Yeah.
So I was in the chow line and I was issuing out. So like you would go, this entree, that entree, and you would just alternate every other one. And this one guy didn't want the particular like peas and carrots or something. He's like, I'm not eating that. So he jumped behind the guy behind him so he would get the one that he wanted. It's like, no. That's the essence of a buddy fucker. Or like when somebody takes your parking spot that you're waiting for at the grocery store, and you've been waiting for it, and they just kind of slip in there. Blue Falcon. Caw-caw! Caw-caw! There you go.
See, we actually used to do the cacaw whenever somebody did something really fucked up like that. That was the first thing. It'd be like, all you'd hear is like at least a good group of us go, oh, cacaw, and they'd be like,
or better yet, here's an idea: you put on like remember the old leather work gloves that you would have that came with the glove liners. What are you doing? I'm calling my Blue Falcon.
Those are the ones that would always get caught in like the mortar tube as you're coming down. You're just like, oh, hanging around. And then you have to go, and then go, oh God.
I don't know shit about Charlie stuff, so hey, that was your world, not mine.
It's fun, especially after we take the charges and light them on fire.
Okay, moving right along.
So charges for anybody that doesn't know, charges are
we don't need to know about your career in arson, pal. We're good.
It's basically these sometimes yellow, sometimes bluish, sometimes greenish little thingies that go on the tail fin of the actual mortar round itself. You can go all the way up to charge 4. There's a charge 3. I might be wrong. I'm thinking no, charge 4. And depending on the distance you want to have, you can take 1 or 2 of them off. Well, typically we'd end up being at the end of the night. Especially whenever we do night fires and all that stuff, we'd have a whole pile of them, and we just take them and just go, oh yeah, and we just take it. We'd break one of them open, and just kind of like pour the powder out, and like a nice little trail. Take a lighter and just. If you want to talk about a giant yeller tornado that could sear your face off. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Woo! Talk about
The views of my co-host in regards to arson are his and his alone. They do not reflect any.
Oh my god! I remember
I'm
the last
sorry,
time,
that's
man.
fine. Let's move on. Let's not.
Yeah,
get
moving
into
on, moving on. Sorry.
All right. No, you're good. I just don't want people doing this at home. Like, hey man, where do I go get a mortar charge? Join the friggin' military. They're high speed hua. Yeah. So for the
Big green weenie.
Big green weenie. So for the guys in the Army or for the Marine Corps, whenever the service does something, it's just kind of like, it's usually a pejorative to describe that, like, hey, something's about to get a little fucky. Something's about to get stupid. You're about to get screwed over. So big green weenie. And that's all we're going to say on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think that's all that needs to be said on that one.
That's all that needs to be said. All right. So next is BAH. So this is something that applies to soldiers in all over the country. That's your basic allowance for housing, and that just kind of depends on the area you're in. Other areas will have it be higher, some will be lower. Just kind of depends on like for the area that you're in, like the statey, inside of the state, so on and so forth. So simple as that.
Yeah. If you were on base, I think I think you were maybe getting like $50. Like, but I mean, because you basically covered. Yeah, you just needed to get food for your fucking fridge. That was it.
Pretty much. So. Well, and it's going to go to beer, so whatever. All right. So if you've been to basic training, you have seen these in the wild in their natural environment. BCGs, birth control glasses. Those are those giant brown framed glasses that are just not attractive at all. And you see the shaved head privates, and they're all walking around and stuff. They call them birth control because, like, nobody's getting any play from the ladies. It's not happening. So, and then to close out the letter B, what were you going to say, man? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh my god, I remember some of these guys coming in with some like really like cool frames, real nice ones.
Real
it's like, oh yeah, those are nice glasses. You see this bag? Guess where you gonna get these now? And they would have the little tether on the back, and they'd just be like,
yep.
And you just see a
dummy strap so they didn't fall off
the neck.
Yep. And nobody looked happy in BCG. Everybody's basic training picture that had them, they're just like, damn it. This sucks.
Oh my god.
And then to close out the letter B, there's an older term, it's bohica. And this kind of goes back to the big green weenie because bend over. Here it comes again. So thank you very much, folks. We're here all night. Okay, so moving into C.
I'm kidding though.
The creepy
creepy crud.
The creepy crud. So this is what everybody gets when they all come together, because you got people from all over the country. When I went to basic, we had guys from Guam, Saipan, New York, California, everywhere in between. And everybody just gets sick off each other. And it's like that super cold. And you're just like, this sucks. And what cures the creepy crud is going to the gas chamber, because the gas chamber causes all of your mucous membranes to get inflamed and start to drip, and everybody just drips all this funk. And afterwards, you're like, oh, wow.
Completely clear.
You're good. It's like having the best sinus infection medication in the world. It's
it's a freaking miracle. Like, because I remember when we did the gas chamber, I went in there and I was all congested and nasty, and so my allergies are fucked up regardless, usually 9 times out of 10. So after I came out, I was just like, drill sergeant sitting there like, damn, 101, just like laughing his ass off at me. But eventually, finally, I take the thing and I'm just like,
oh, it's awful. And like, if you folks at home have never seen that, just Google that. Just put in Army, or just put
Army
basic training, basic training gas chamber, and you'll find all these wonderful videos where you just see people having a suck fest, literally.
Oh yeah.
Now, creepy crud can also refer to something that may happen if you get with a local person in town that may be a very avid supporter of the military, and I'm going to be PC about that, and we're going to move right along.
Yep, pretty much.
The next term, cherry. Cherry is kind of like boot. It just means somebody that's new.
Guy.
Not necessarily that they're ridiculous, but just means that he's brand new, all that kind of jazz.
Got a poppin'
CO.
breaking in cherries.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much exactly breaking them in. So the next one is Charlie Oscar, CO, and that just stands for commanding officer.
Yeah.
So usually when you're talking about platoon leadership or company leadership, battalion leadership, you're going to have a company commander, you're going to have a battalion commander. Commanding officer is a CO. It's too easy. CG is also going to be commanding general. Usually somebody that's in charge of a division or some type of command, where it's going to be a general officer who's going to be in charge of that. COLA, COLA, that's cost of living allowance. That kind of goes along the lines of BAH, and it's going to be in your, it's like kind of like your allowances and stuff in your paycheck. So CONUS,
Again,
this is
as a person living on base, the COLA was always really low.
There you go.
Yeah.
So CONUS, simple. It's continental United States. So it's anything in the lower 48. So everything not including Alaska and Hawaii, right? Isn't that right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Continental United States. Moving along to D. DD-MAL. DD-MAL, you'll hear a lot of infantry guys say this.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, when we say DD-MAL out of the AO or whatnot. Oh, there's another
means
one.
It means get
distance.
out. Let's go.
Much. Distance, direction, and then move out. So if you say, 12 o'clock, 200 meters, and you just take off, and that's it.
Yep.
So this next one is kind of interesting.
I was going to say DD-MAL is also, it's kind of like a funny way of saying, like, we're going to be going that direction to get away from whatever fire we're taking right now.
Yeah, we're going to DD-MAL over there so we can regroup and figure out our next plan of action and call for fire, pretty much. So this next term is a term of endearment. If you've been through Sandhill, if you've been through infantry training anytime, I would say early 2000s to at least maybe up to like 2010.
I want to define it. You could say the word, but I want to define it.
Every drill sergeant that's on Sand Hill loves to call the privates. And he'll walk up to you, go, "Hey, come here, Dick." And Dick stands for
Dedicated Infantry Combat Killer.
Which is funny, but it makes no sense. And they just want to call you. They just want to have a reason to call you Dick. So there you go.
Yeah, pretty much.
A lot of times when you're talking about moving from one place to the next, there's a term called Diddy move. It's kind of the same thing as DIY. It's do it yourself. Yeah. That's all it is. Just means you're not having the military move you or pack your stuff or all that kind of crap. The next term. My dude. If you've ever been to a surplus store, you might see that they have a jerry can, which is an old 5-gallon fuel can, and the spout, which is colloquially called a donkey dick. So there you go. Donkey dick. DFAC.
Oh my God.
Dining facility, chow hall, mess hall. Same thing.
Yeah.
Douche canoe. So douche canoe is kind of on the same level as a Blue Falcon.
Yeah.
Somebody that's just there to, mess things up.
Merriam-Webster's definition, a contemptible person.
Contemptible person. There you go. And then the last one for D is going to be DD 214. So that is Department of Defense Form 214. And every veteran will have one of those when they separate from the military. And it basically just describes, there's a bunch of pertinent information on there, like when you went into the service, how many days you deployed, blah, 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 like all these pertinent facts for basically. And it's also record. Pretty much. And it also will have, awards on there, if you've got a campaign medal, if you got a ARCOM, AM, whatever type of other stuff. So, DD 214. So, moving on to E. So, one of the things you hear a lot when people say E4, I was at E3. So, when we talk about the pay scale in the military, so because all the services have different ranks and whatnot, you have pay grades. So, like for the Army, we have specialist and we have corporal. So even though those are two different ranks, one's an NCO, one's junior enlisted, they're both E4 on the enlisted pay ranking. Okay. Same thing with officers. Officers go from 01, from a butter bar second lieutenant ensign, all the way up to 010, which is a 4-star general or admiral. Same stuff. And then we also have warrant officers too, which go from W1 to whiskey 1 to whiskey 5. So E1 through E9, all that kind of jazz. ETS, it's the expiration term of service. That's when you leave the military and you get your DD-214. ECP, this is something that I did a lot of when I was over in Afghanistan. ECP is your entry control point, searching individuals and vehicles coming in your compound, and then also with how they would leave out of there. But you would search everybody coming in and frisk them and check all their stuff and all that kind of shit. EFP, this is something that a lot of guys have gotten hurt with.
That's
it's called
a pretty gnarly one. We got a good amount of experience with them freaking things over in freaking Iraq, man. There
EFP
was
is explosively formed projectile.
Explosively formed projectile, yeah. We there was a truck that it wasn't our company. It was I'm almost positive it was Ghost Company at the time. That a truck got hit by an EFP. The damn thing, I mean, it cut through the steel like butter, man. Like it was, I mean, those things will cut through freaking Abrams tanks. And like the material on those, it's still classified. That's how freaking tough that shit is.
Yeah.
But I remember we drove past it and
you saw the damage and the carnage from it.
I saw the damage and the carnage, and the guys were in there. They were, it was just like they were like washing it out, and you just saw I'm pretty sure whoever was in there was already taken out, but because I didn't see any individuals in there, but I saw the remnants of what was washed out coming out of the freaking bottom of basically where the hole that got blown into the truck, it was washed out. Me and a couple of the guys saw it, and those things are fucking gnarly, man. It's terrible.
I know a guy who I met when we used to work together. I don't know if you remember him, but there's a guy that came in and he was a special forces guy, and he was hit in the legs with the remnants of an EFP. And for those of you at home that don't know, basically it's some kind of metal. A lot of times I'll use copper, like it can be something as simple as like a copper pot, and you use a shape charge.
Think of it like it's kind of like a beveled out tube. And what they do is they compact all this explosive material inside. And after they put all the explosive materials inside, they think of it like this bottle, right? This is, a nice solid metal tube. And what they're doing is they're compressing explosives down into the middle. And what they do is they pack whatever materials they can find. It could be freaking copper coins or freaking whatever the hell they can find. And they just take it and stuff it and pack it super tight. And then once it blows, because of the way the cone bottom is, when it blows, all that material is, because it's concave like this as it's in there. But once it blows, it kind of goes and it becomes one solid chunk and just shoots right out of the freaking thing.
It's bad juju, man.
Real bad juju.
It's bad juju. All right, moving right along. So, one of the things you hear a lot in the military, at least back when we were in, is the F word. Quite a bit. F this, F that. Hey, come here, F the guy or F face. I'm gonna stop doing it. Hey, come here, fuck face. They're just it's just, or better yet, is when you first get in and you, especially for me, I was very reserved, and you had this E5 who was given a briefing on something, and he said the F word for every adjective and every way to describe something. It's like, you're gonna take the fucking thing and you go down to the fucking office, fill out the fucking paperwork. I'm just like, geez, dude, I think you met your quota, man.
Or if you got like a first sergeant that's just really drawn out, like fucking So we're gonna hit this OBJ here, and fucking what we're gonna do is we're gonna fucking get in there, Roger.
Yeah,
Say Roger. Roger first star. Fucking the vehicles are gonna move it. Yeah.
All right.
Like that.
All right. Yeah, we covered that.
Yeah.
This one's one of my favorites. Football bat. So
yes.
Football bat. When somebody is as effed up as a football bat, because you're just like, there's no bats in football. Exactly. There you go. FOB. FOB is what most people are assigned to when they're overseas. It stands for Forward Operating Base. Along with that, when you have somebody that might be, and this doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing, but you have folks that don't necessarily come off the base, such as like, frontline troops. Fob it. Yeah, we call them fobbits because they're on the base all the time. So, what's the next one? Oh yeah, sleeping bag is called a fart sack.
Fart sack.
That's what you do in it.
Yeah. I've Dutch ovened myself.
Oh, whoa, dude! Whoa!
Plenty of times.
Oh my. Okay, we're gonna move along. I was just gonna hit that and move on. The next one is
terrible.
You're
especially when you're eating MREs for a week.
Well, that's a different story. So, all right. So Frago. Frago stands for fragmentary order. So it just means that you're going to get, you're on a plan to accomplish something, and like, oh, Frago means, hey, by the way, this is something that may have changed, or this is new information, so on and so forth. Okay.
Yeah.
FUBAR. Everybody in the world knows what FUBAR is, and it's fouled up beyond all recognition. And I don't want to say too many more.
The other one,
because we're not trying to get blocked off here. Yeah. So, all right, to G, go fasters. This is a term I've heard a lot of guys that were in the Marines say. Sneakers, running shoes, go fasters. They make you go faster. Grunt. That is a term of endearment. So grunt just is a nickname for anybody that is a ground pounder, an infantry guy of any type, shape, or sort, so on and so forth. I've heard people say it stands for ground unit untrained back in like Vietnam era. I don't know about that. But, so it is what it is.
It wouldn't make sense, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah. Green beanie. So green beanie is a way to describe a special forces soldier because they wear a green beret, which people have nicknamed a green beanie. So that's what that is.
Yeah.
Geardo. So Geardo is somebody who buys a lot of equipment.
Yep.
And they don't necessarily use all of it all the time. Hold on. Sorry. That came out of nowhere. Excuse me. So you'll see, and it's a Geardo and a Fobbit can kind of cohabitate on the same person. So you might have somebody who's inside the wire all the time, or just working the gate, and they're just carrying all of this crap.
They buy a lot of cool shit because they want to look cute, or excuse me, as Matt Best says, tactical. Yeah. And it's kind of fucking useless. I don't know. Go ahead.
God bless him for trying, but like, hey man, let's stick to the point here. All right, moving on. So hatch. That is a naval term for a door. A hatch is usually, if you find it on a ship, it's actually something that is a door that's a metal that can be sealed and secured, and it's basically just to keep the ship, that particular section, watertight so it doesn't have any leaks. High and tight. That is the quintessential haircut where it's just on the top, it's tight on the sides, all that kind of stuff.
Basically, you look like a big Bert and Ernie doll.
Pretty much. Oh, jeez, that's terrible. I never thought about that. Oh, my God.
I had to say it.
Here's something that's said all the time. High speed. Now, this can be used as a good thing. It can be used as a kind of sarcastic comment,
Yeah.
Like the way you guys
fucked that up there, high speed, or come on, high speed.
Where do you think you're going, high speed? Child's that way, Absolutely. Hooch. So a hooch is kind of like a
living quarters.
It's living quarters. And a lot of times, when like a lot of times in Vietnam, they'll make a hooch, which it might just be a little tent or somewhere they can get out of the rain, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Hump. So when we talk about going for a hump, it's usually a ruck
Yeah.
or going for some type of forced march where we're carrying a rucksack, you go for a hump. We're going for like a 10-mile hump or whatnot. I don't think they use it too much nowadays. They just say 10-mile ruck, but it used to be the kind of way.
You find a lot of the guys in our generation and like, just a little bit after that still using it. Like a lot of guys nowadays though, and the young cats, nah.
Not so much.
Yeah.
So hua, I mean, that's just a term of it's a term of like, you guys understand what's going on, Roger?
Cool.
No. And every service has their own way of saying it. We're not going to get into that. It takes too long.
Yeah.
Forget it. Ink stick, a pen.
Yeah.
All there is to it. ID10T. So if you're not certain what this is, write out ID10T on a piece of paper and look at it. You're welcome. I just improved yourself there. Good stuff. IED, improvised explosive device. That's usually what, guys roll over in vehicles, and you see all the videos of stuff going boom and all that kind of crazy shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
IED is very common again. It's something
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Jody. Now, Jody is a person who will get with your significant other while you're on deployment, while you're on basic training, while you're on military leave or some type of, military duty. There's plenty of stories and plenty of cadences about it. Jody is a person that is taking your significant other and wrecking your damn life. So Jody is bad. If you happen to be named Jody, I apologize. I'm sorry, but there's a
not trying to single you out. Yeah.
No. All right, what's next? Click. Now, this click is with a K because this is how I found it on several sources. Click is just a way of saying kilometer. So if it's 3 clicks out, it's 3 kilometers away.
No.
Simple. Okay. Libo. This is a term I hear a lot of Marines say for liberty. So like if you give like you have weekend liberty or you have weekend libo, it means you're off of, you don't have to work, you're not on duty, and you can just kind of go out and chill. And it's usually for places like where you're overseas, I believe, where you just kind of go out and check out the town, all that kind of junk. So yeah. Libo. LES. Leave and earnings statement. That's your pay stub. It's your paycheck. You get that every 2 weeks. Okay. LPC. Leather personnel carrier. Those are basically the old school leather speed lace boots that you got issued at basic training. That you're a real pain in the ass to break in, and usually they break them in by going for long marches, which is just it sucks. Toughens your feet up real good, which is important.
Or just standing in a tub for like 8 hours.
There's always tricks around stuff.
Yeah.
LC, Lima Charlie. So that is a way to hear somebody when somebody says, "How do you read
Loud
me?"
and
They
clear.
say, "Loud and clear, Lima Charlie." Some guys say licking chicken, whatever. LT, easy, short for lieutenant.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you just say, "Hey, go see LT," or "Hey, LT, what's going on?" Blah blah blah, all that good stuff. LBE, load bearing equipment, and it's also referred to as an LBV, which is a load bearing vest. This is your overlay, which will nowadays they call it a flick, which is a fighting load carrier. Basically, just has all your magazines, accessories, grenades, all that kind of stuff. Mike. When somebody says Mike, it's usually 4 millimeter. So like 25 Mike or a 40, hand me that 40 Mike, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Moonbeam, flashlight. Simple. Exactly. MOS, military occupational specialty. Yes. Okay. MEPS. So when you sign up, you go to a MEP station. It's military entrance processing station. Yes. Okay. So we talked earlier about Alice being that type of rucksack. Molly. So it's modular, lightweight, load-bearing equipment. If you've used a Molly ruck and like it, please make a comment because I've tried it. I can't stand the freaking thing. It's a pain in the ass. I'm kind of an Alice person myself, but if you've actually used a Molly ruck and liked using it, please by all means leave a comment. I'd love to talk to you.
See, we had no choice but to use the Mollies when we got them. There was a couple of my squad leaders that they kind of just let's just say around the Tacoma area at Fort Lewis. Now, obviously, Fort Lewis McChord, but
Joint Base Lewis McChord.
Joint Base Lewis McChord. There's a lot of military surplus and all that stuff around there, so they were able to kind of just pick up the old Alice stuff and do not even have to worry about the new Molly crap because they hated it.
Yeah, and from what I understand, a lot of guys that are still on airborne status that jump regularly still like the Alice rucks because they hold up well. They're pretty good. So, the last one for M is mail call. It's when you get your mail.
Obvious.
Usually at basic training, they'll call your roster number out and try to throw your mail at you like a ninja star.
101.
Yep, it's funny. All right, so let's get in the second half of this. Let's try to speed these up a little bit. These aren't so many. So, NCO, non-commissioned officer. That's in the Navy. It's a petty officer. In the Army, it's corporal and above. Same thing for the Marine Corps. In the Air Force, it is staff sergeant and above. So, non-commissioned officer. That's pretty much your immediate, supervisors, your first line supervisors, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. NCOIC, non-commissioned officer in charge. Duh.
Yep.
NJP, non-judicial punishment. So that is when you get hemmed up for doing something stupid, and instead of bringing you up on charges, they say, okay, you've got extra duty for the next, however long. You got extra duty or restriction.
You'll be clean latrines with your tongue till I... No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we'll say some stuff like that. So this next one, I need to shout out to my buddy Jose, who told me about this. Jose is a friend of mine, friend of ours.
Carvajal!
Yeah. So he started off as a guy on submarines, and then he ended up joining the Army and going into the Signal Corps. So he told me about this term they have on subs called nub or noob or whatever. And they tell the new people that it stands for new underway buddy, but in reality, it's a non-useful body. So it's like, because they're so excited, like, I'm a noob. Yeah. Yes, you are. Who's a good noob? So, all right. We're going to try to blow through these next ones because we're going to try to keep this a shorter episode. But Oscar Mike just means on mission.
Yeah, on mission, yeah.
Simple. OBJ, objective.
Objective.
OIC, officer in charge.
Yard.
OCONUS, outside the continental United States. And then OPORD, OPORD, which is your operational
order.
You still remember what the 5 paragraphs were?
I blank on them.
Situation. It's Sergeant Major eats sugar cookies. So it's situation, mission, execution, service and support, and command and signal.
Gotcha.
That's how any military operation is usually taken care of. POG. So the short and quick of this is that POG is person other than grunt. Yeah. And we unfortunately usually describe people that are in the rear, admin or, people in supply. Sorry. We love you guys, but, Anyway, pogey bait. When you go out to the field, you usually got pogey bait in your ruck. You got like some little, chewies
beef
or
jerky, Vienna sausages in the can, that kind of good shit.
Just depends on the person's taste. Prior service
sausages in the can are the best. They're so good. I swear to God.
I suddenly have the urge to have some beanies and weenies now, beans and franks. I haven't had that stuff in forever.
I know.
Prior service is anybody that is or was in the military before. Yeah. So, like if we had in my, like us, we're both prior service. Now, in my National Guard company, we had a good majority or a good portion of our company that were prior service Marines. They were actually in the Marine Corps at one point in time. They switched over, went into the Army, so they were prior service Marines. Simple as that. PCS, permanent change of station. So like you're going from Fort Riley, Kansas down over to Fort Bragg, and you're not going back. Permanent change of station. Changing units, changing areas, changing locations. Too easy. POV, privately owned vehicle. Yeah. Now, nowadays they call it a POC, which is a conveyance, but I'm just like, okay.
Stupid.
In my eyes, POC is a point of contact. So
point of contact. Yeah,
we're gonna leave that alone. Q, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Right now, like 5 minutes ago. That's all that is.
Yeah. QRF, quick
QRF,
reaction force.
Quick reaction force. These are the guys that go out if something kicks off or.
That was me. I'm kidding. I mean, it's true though. But
so, retread is a term that you hear people say for somebody that is changing jobs in the military. They're like a retread. I've also heard it referred to as a reclass. Like they're going to reclass. We had a guy when I was in basic. He was an E5. He was like a fueler, and he became an 11 Bravo. So he reclassed into 11 Bang Bang. No. Roger. Though we do not know too many guys named Roger. It's just a way of being like, I hear you. I understand what's going on.
Yep. It's basically affirmative, confirmed. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Squid. Somebody in the Navy.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Stud. This could be one of a few things. Like if you have a PT stud, it's somebody who's usually banging out PT scores in the higher, like 90 percentile range, or they're going 300 or like the extended scale. Or like even though you can only score 300, well, I think on the new one you can score like pretty much. Yeah. My buddy Brian reminded me that we had a guy in our old company. I think it was first sergeant. The first sergeant of the company was like, "You're either a stud or a dud." What do you want to be? One of my favorite insults to call somebody is a shitbag, and it's funny. Okay, and it literally is just a bag of shit. And basically, this person. So it also can be like when they say, "Oh, what's he doing? Oh, he's shitbagging over there," meaning he's trying to get out of work or try to do as little as possible, if nothing at all. So when you call somebody shitbag, it's usually like, "Hey, they're doing something stupid to deserve it." So pretty much. Square away. Too easy. They say, all right, square away your area or square away your wall locker, square away your rack.
Means
make
fix your shit.
Fix it. Make sure it's inspection ready. All that kind of stuff. Snivel gear. Anything to help you not get the snivels when it's cold outside. Yeah. A beanie, a fleece jacket, any type of
winter gear. Jackets, fleece, all that good stuff. Even the undergarments, the under stuff.
Sweater. Yeah, like the silkies.
The silkies. I still have my silkies. Yeah. Do you still have yours?
I never wore those. They're like brand new in the bag, dude. I've never touched them. It's crazy.
Dare you?
Snake eater. Snake eater is a term to describe. It's a generalized term to describe anybody that's like special ops and living off the land. Yeah. Got some pretty cool field craft skills available. Soup sandwich. That's all you got to say. Just say soup sandwich.
Soup sandwich.
It just sounds fucked up. Soup sandwich. You're welcome. Yeah. And that leads us to snafu. Situation normal. All fouled up.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. We're making some good time on this. So TDY. TDY is temporary duty. It's like if you have TDY to go to like Pathfinder school or Ranger school at Fort Benning, you're on TDY.
Yeah.
Much. Trans or transpo is just a quick way of saying transportation. You're getting picked up to go out to the field. If you were in basic training around 2000, you got in those old school cattle cars where you packed like a whole platoon of dudes in that thing, rucksack, K-pot with your LBE, and it just sucked. But it was better than walking. So,
AKA the fart box.
Mm-hmm. The fart box. UCMJ we hit earlier, which is Uniform Code of Military Justice, which governs all the actions of military members. UXO, they always tell you don't touch or pick up UXO or kick UXO. That's unexploded ordnance. Yeah. Don't.
Yeah, that was always fun. Yeah. I remember I'll go on this. We when we blew up a house when we were in Baghdad still.
We blew up a house, no big deal,
Yeah. Well, it was full of caches, dude. Like full. Like we took all the explosive ordnance that we found all over that house, and there was a shit ton. And you know, we had Army EOD with us that day, and they were freaking ready and rare to go. So they like put like probably like 2 pounds of C4 on that shit.
So the EOD guys are probably pulling a John. They're like,
oh yeah. And the funny thing was, there was actually a female with them. So I think she was actually more pumped than I think the other guys were at the time, which was really fucking weird. But she was like, come on. Yeah, come on. Don't be scared of it. It's okay. Just put it right in there. Just put it out. Just pile it down. She was like really like super excited. Like, you know, this is probably like, she was like really wanting to blow something up. And I remember when
there's got to be a good and bad to that. Like if you're you know, EOD, which is explosive ordnance disposal, we could have probably added that to the list. You know, your job is to defuse and dismantle and get rid of stuff. But at the same time, you get to blow some shit up. Like that is your job.
Yeah.
Hey, go get rid of that. Okay.
Yeah. And she, so anyway, when we blew the house up, we went what we thought was like 100 yards away, which was like in reality, it was only like 2 or 3 houses down. And when it went up, we watched like the sparks and all this, like the debris fly up, and we were like, whoa, yeah.
And then it starts raining down on you.
Oh, yeah. I almost got hit by almost got hit by a fucking brick that was like the size of this freaking laptop. It was, yeah.
Would have made you had a bad day.
Yeah, it would have been a bad day.
Moving right along, VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing. If you've ever seen the old school Harrier jets for the Marine Corps, those have the ability to come pretty much from level flight to stationary and can actually go down like this, and they can also take off and do the same thing. Same thing with the V-22 Osprey. That is a way of doing it. And there's also a variant of the F-35 Lightning, the Marine Corps variant.
The Ospreys are the shit.
They're cool, but they had a little bit of an issue with the safety record. So
yeah,
it is what it is. VBID, which is vehicle-borne IED, vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. So that's basically where they pack a bunch of bad shit in a car, and they use the car as a bomb to attack our guys. So
we had more of that in Baghdad than we had when we went to Diyala.
Yeah. So moving on to W.
Whoopee.
So for those that don't know, messed up my mic there. There we go. A whoopee is a poncho liner. I've also heard this referred to as a cho liner. This is probably one of the 2 most favorite pieces of gear that I've ever been issued. I've bought several since I've been out. It's just interesting because it keeps you warm in the winter and cool in the summer. I go camping with it in my backyard with my daughter. I usually have the whoopee. She usually snatches it in the middle of the night. I'm like, you little jerk.
It's like they say.
Yeah.
Whoopee. You know why they call it a whoopee? Because you would be cold if you didn't have it.
Is that really what they say?
Yeah.
Or did you just make that shit up?
Oh, that's what I was told.
Oh, okay. So yeah, between that and a boonie cap, those are my my 2 favorites. The
boonie.
I got my boonie cap right here too, man. See, boonie. Anyway, all right. WTF.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
And all it stands for is what the fuck.
What the fuck?
I've also heard somebody say they're dropping warheads to foreheads, and I was like, it's a good alternative meaning. I like that. It's good.
Warheads to foreheads. I like that.
That's pretty good. Warno. Warno is in the same category as like Frago. It's a warning order. Yeah. It's basically like, Warno, we're stepping off in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Pretty much. WP. Some guys will refer to this as Willie Pete. And that is a type of grenade or a type of round. It's white phosphorus, and that is some nasty shit. Oh, yeah. All you need to know. Then we have WMD, weapons of mass destruction. What'd you say?
We used to fire the Willie P as with mortar rounds. It was nice seeing the stuff.
It pretty much just starts burning once it hits the air, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. It's some pretty lethal shit.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And then WMD is weapons of mass destruction. XO. So XO is going to be somebody who is the executive officer. They are going to be number 2 in the chain of command. So you have the company, you have the commanding officer, executive officer. They will step up and take charge in case the commanding officer is not available.
Okay? Yar.
0 dark 30 is going to be any time that is nighttime or stupid ass early in the morning. There's also a movie called 0 Dark 30, which is about the Osama bin Laden raid. It's a good movie. You should check it out. But it's just usually referred to like anytime, like butt crack of dawn before anything happens.
Yeah. Zonk!
Yeah. So Zonk is kind of awesome. I actually experienced this for the first time. I was doing some pre-deployment training, and we were standing in formation, and all of a sudden, my platoon sergeant said, as loud as he could, he just said zonk, and I didn't know what the hell it meant, but my squad leader started running. So if he's running, damn it, I'm running too. So we just took off, and that was
some of the best time. Like I remember when we had gotten back from Iraq. This is one of a few times we'd actually done it. Freaking, I don't remember exactly what happened, but I know it was right before Thanksgiving, and there really wasn't jack shit to do. It was like fucking like I think it was like 10:30 in the morning. And for those of you that really want to know what this is, a zonk is basically a way of saying get your ass upstairs to your rooms and don't come down till after hours. Which technically for active duty guys would have been like right around probably 17. I mean, I'm speaking military time.
5:30.
Yeah, like 5:30. Yeah,
5:30.
I was just about to say it, 17:30, but yeah, so roughly around that time. So don't change clothes, don't do anything, stay in uniform, but don't come down and don't stay out of sight.
Disappear so you don't get told to do something.
Disappear so you don't become a volunteer. And it was awesome. Like I remember I was usually either the first or the second one in the door because I was a fast motherfucker back then. And like we were standing there, and my platoon sergeant goes, "All right, man, we got some duties that we got to do," and he punked us. He got us at the last second. He goes, "All right, tune attention, zonk." We were like, "Fuck!" I was out like Speedy Gonzalez, man. And remember that, like I said, this was right before Thanksgiving, so it was like we had the 4-day, and it was literally the day right before, and it was like, so I was like, no,
nice.
I ain't doing no extra duties. Went upstairs to my room, fucking. I pulled out a beer.
Like there's not beers in whatever.
I pulled out a beer. Well, technically, we're supposed to be on duty, but we weren't on duty. But anyway,
there's a fine line that you're flirting with, and it's in that gray area on the fringe. It's on the fringe of like, what's going on? So
yeah.
I'm not gonna go over those other two. I'm just So anyway, so that's our show for this week. Just going over those goofy stuff. Hopefully it brought back some good memories. If it's something funny. Hopefully, if you didn't know what it was before, hey, now. So,
man.
But like I said, we just wanted to do something a little bit more, lighthearted, use a little bit of humor. Humor is something that Alamo and I use a lot when we're talking about, stuff that's bugging us and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to pull this up, Alamo, so bear with me.
Le Bros Code.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely, pal. All right. So why don't you go over it, and I'm pulling it up real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for any new listeners, which I'm hoping you guys have gone back and watched or listened to the other episodes at this point, the Bros Code is kind of a little thing we kind of pieced together. We really wanted to try and put something together that would, help give our listeners and our viewers kind of like almost kind of like a little bit of a compass, like kind of like this is what you want to do type deal. Here we go. Boop. So we got the Battle Bros code. All right. So first, obviously, we got to start with B, which is the first letter in bros. Be tenacious, right? And
It's bros. It's not bruh. It's bros.
Listen here, brus. So be tenacious in everything that you do. That means whatever it is that you're doing, give it 110%. R, refuse to surrender. Do not quit no matter what. There's a fine line between giving up and just refitting and coming back and getting back in the fight. And
regrouping and reattacking.
That's right. So never give up, man. Refuse to surrender. That's not in our blood. That's not what we want. Obliterate your obstacles, whatever's in your way. We say it, we try to relate it to, everybody here, whether you're a student in school or whatever, it could be that next test. If you're, at work trying to get that next promotion, if it's that next interview to move up, whatever, obliterate your obstacles. Do what you can. Be tenacious about it. And lastly, S, seek out a friend in a time of need. Look, man, I think I've said it pretty much every episode. The best healing for your mind is, and I'm always going to say this, talk about it. Talk about what's on your heart. Talk about what you're going through. Try and get some people on the line. Call a friend. Call somebody. Hell, if you're one of our listeners, then you're continuing to come back and listen to us and view the show. Drop us a line on the Facebook page, man. Drop us a line while we're here live on the show. Drop a line to, some of your friends if you have to, but seek out somebody. Seek out someone to help talk you through it.
You are never alone, and you never have to go through it alone.
Exactly.
Is what we want to impress on everybody. So
exactly.
And if you go through things alone, or you don't have a friend you can call in a time of need, there's always, if you're going down a dark path, we don't, as I say all the time, we never want you to have a permanent solution. We never want you to have a permanent solution for a temporary problem.
Yeah.
And if you get to that point where you're, thinking some bad thoughts, or, you don't know who to turn to, you can always call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. They have people there 24 hours a day that will always be there to help you out. Okay. They can talk. You can talk to somebody. You can at least try to work through something before you make that final decision to go down that path of that point of no return. And we want to make sure that we have as many people not do that as possible. They say 22 veterans a day commit suicide, and it's 22 too fucking many. All right.
22 too many. I'm already at number 4, man. With John, that's number 4 for me. That's 4 people I know.
And it's 1 is too many. So 22 is way too damn many. So if we can stop somebody from going down that road, just remember there's somebody here that wants you here. That always. Okay.
Absolutely, man.
And then since I'm sharing the screen, time for the shameless plug. Boom. It's a good picture. So all right, let me go back to this. Let me stop sharing. There we go. Okay. So, yeah. So that's pretty much going to be our show for this week, folks. We want to thank everybody for watching and listening. This should be available sometime within the next day or two on the different platforms, Spotify, the Anchor app, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. And you can always watch it. If you want to watch it, if you're a visual person that likes to sit and watch TV, you can check out our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel. All of our episodes get posted there, all that kind of jazz. We want to say thank you for everybody that is continuing to watch us. It's amazing that we've only been at this for 5 episodes now, and we have like almost 130 people on our Facebook page which follow us, and it's just it's awesome. it's endearing, and it's humbling to know that people are watching and believing in what we do. And so again, thank you. If you're new to the show, we want to say thank you for checking us out. We appreciate it. If you like what you see, tell your friends about it. We're still a new podcast. We're growing, all that kind of jazz. Yeah. So as for episode 6, we're not going to tell you anything about it. You just need to tune in next week and watch the damn show or listen to the show. Okay. Mm-hmm. Just remember that every Friday night at 9:00 we go live. Here you can watch it on YouTube. We would appreciate you to visit with us again and watch, and hopefully we're going to get better. And just know that we take this very seriously. There's some other podcasts out there where you're just like, I don't know what's going on. We have a very distinct mission, and like I said, we're going to go about it a couple different ways. We're going to have the serious talks today. We did something a little bit lighthearted, a little bit, funnier. Hopefully, I know we kind of droned on there for a little bit about a couple of them, but we kind of went way over the time that we had planned for ourselves. But we like to. If we were Irish, we got the gift of gab. We like to be talking to everybody.
We like to talk to people. Yeah.
Absolutely. We like to tell stories and tell jokes and all that great stuff. So
all over a pint.
Aye, all over. Oh, you even get what do they call? What's a big ass mug that you get? Stein. Yeah, over the Stein. So
I've got 3 of them still.
I'm sure you do, man. So anyway, like I said, every Friday, 9:00, we're going to go live on YouTube. Check us out. We'd appreciate your viewership. We'd appreciate you following along. If you do like what you see, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Check us out. Yes. Follow us on social media pages. I know Alamo's working on a Patreon page and whatnot. That's going to be coming up still in the beginning stages, but it's going to get there. It's coming up soon, but you can always check us out here live at 9 on Friday nights. That's how you can see us every week. Otherwise, catch us on the replay on any of the apps that we mentioned before. And if you really want to know what episode 6 is about, just tune in. Because we ain't saying shit. So, as they say, I think, as they say in the Navy, loose lips sink ships. Exactly. So I think that's going to do it for us this week, and we appreciate you checking us out. And so
we'll catch y'all on the flip side.
We're going to sign off now, and Alamo's going to do his thing, and I'm going to shake my head, just laugh at him, and we're going to go. So we again, thanks everybody. We'll see you next week. Stay safe. Pay attention, everybody out there. Look out for your friends, and please know that you're never alone. And if you need somebody, we're here for you. So appreciate it, and we'll check you out later.
This is Alamo
and Mac of the Battle Bros podcast. Signing off. Love you.
Bada bing.
Bada boom.